Hello, welcome back to Firehands Gaming. My name is Ben. Today we're continuing on with Suzerain. So last time out, we had a meeting to set our immigration policies, as well as attended Peter's little soiree and went to the Benfey Arts Festival. So yeah, looks like we've got 2 reports over here and a newspaper. So let's start with Suzerain, why not? Refugees of Vernon. Reports from our border and the Vasic city Vernon show that there are about 1,000 people running away from Vasic military forces towards the Swordfish border. Cool. Well, we'll probably be dealing with that soon enough. Right, there's 2 reports here from Estord. So, protests and looting. Protests and occasional looting continues in the region of Nargis. The police report that the violence has been minimized and the situation is mostly under control outside the big cities. Estord Police Force reported that several militants have been hiding among the protesters and are being watched closely. Fantastic. And gang violence reduced report. The Ministry of Interior has reported that after the police raid on the Skinner and Coronelli cartel supply chains, their activities have reduced in the region. Those operations are only possible as a result of new resources we received from this administration. It has allowed the local police force to launch inside investigations, purging the corrupted officials, and getting information about criminal networks, said the Ministry of Interior. Fantastic. Alright, so let's check out our newspaper from Geopolitico. Let's see, where are you? There it is. Wayland deploying special forces to Vernon. Rocklovitz Wayland. President Smolik has announced that the city of Vernon has been put under curfew along with 7 other towns in the northeast of the country. The Vasic army has deployed specially trained military forces into the... It's deployed specially trained military forces to combat the militant organization known as the British Freedom Front. Wayland has increased its efforts in fighting terrorism with aerial campaigns and ground operations targeting BFF militants and their hidden bases. This operation will surely have consequences for the region, particularly for the neighboring countries of Lesbia, Rumburg, and particularly Swordland, which has a large population of British people living inside its borders. Fantastic. Alright. Yeah, it looks like everything, so let's head to Wholesword for some downtime at home, I guess. It felt like eternity since the Benfey Festival. Had it really only been less than 24 hours? I was at home now, drinking an afternoon coffee on my balcony. A stack of newspapers lay by my side. I picked them up one by one, reading and rereading the articles about the festival. Some of the newspapers were merciless against Monica for interrupting Curtin during his speech. A few even called for her to be barred from political matters. Others expressed their support. In any event, I was relieved that the incident hadn't reflected too badly on me. I was putting the last newspaper down as Monica joined me on the balcony. So, you've seen the news? Monica, I know, we can talk about this. What is there to talk about? I'm a disgrace with no support from my husband. It says so right here. Darling, believe me, my hands are tied. Anton, how could you? First you denied me the opportunity to speak at the festival, then you let that dinosaur Les make a mock of me and my cause. She grabbed the top newspaper from the stack and started reading it out loud. With a shameful outburst of Annika, Mayor Curtin Les, First Lady Monica Rain once again proved that politics is an area best left to gentlemen. With the President providing no support, her challenge to Les was quickly defeated. The President provided no support. You can't even stand Les, and you took his side while making me look like a fool. She started ripping the newspaper to shreds. After all these years by your side, playing the doting wife, you know, my mother's right about you. I'm so sorry. I understand if you never forgive me. Just tell me why. Couldn't you have said something? Sometimes you have to make sacrifices for the country. You've got to learn that if you want to enter politics. But why did the sacrifice have to be me? Never mind, you had your reasons. There was a brief silence. There is another chance, you know, for you to show your real support. Perhaps the festival wasn't the proper forum to air my views on women's rights, but I still need to do this, Anton. I want to officially adopt this cause as First Lady, to actually get involved in politics, not just give impromptu speeches. I can even help your education minister with those reforms she's working on. I know this isn't an urgent issue for me, but it's for you, but it's vital to me. Whatever. We'll go for it. I hope it'll work. Of course, my love. I'm looking forward to working closer together. Oh, Anton, this means so much to me. Monica hugged me tightly, and I felt some of the past day's tension melt away. Thank you. A noise came from the balcony door. We both turned our heads to see Diana standing there. Mom, I'm hungry. Let's go to the kitchen, baby. We'll make Papa the best snack ever. Yeah. Thea left the balcony and returned half an hour later with a large cookie. Diana had written my name and icing on it. As I sipped my coffee and nibbled the cookie, I thought that I had made the right choice. Things were going to get harder, but at least my life at home was somewhat peaceful. Well, hopefully that's the right choice. I guess we will find out. Alright, looks like we've got 2 reports and a newspaper again, so whatever, let's go to Lockhaven. Economic reports. The Ministry of Statistics, along with the Ministry of Economy and the Central Bank, have delivered preliminary economic status report detailing that the recession is ongoing and the system isn't likely to reach stability soon if we don't take serious steps. Minister Hull said the signs were negative. Well, that's not a surprise. And from Conradt, United Canton access to Conradt Base. Preparations began in the Conradt Naval Base to expand the port and restructure the security of the naval base in order to welcome United Canton ships in the short future. Canton security and logistics professionals have already been welcomed to the base to work with source officials. Fantastic. Alright. Looks like the only report, so let's check the Lockhaven Times. First Lady disgraced. No support from her husband. The Benfey Festival is now in full motion, and the festival goers are enjoying the many attractions set up. However, this year's Benfey Festival started eventfully. In the middle of Curtin-less opening speech, the First Lady stood up and interrupted it. With a truly shameful act of display, First Lady Monica Rain provided her incapability handling political matters during the opening speech of the Benfey Festival. Rightfully contested by Curtin-less, the mayor of Anarcha, she powerlessly looked for help from President Rain and received no support from her husband. This move has created questions in people's heads about the relationship between the President and the First Lady. Cool. Don't really care. Technically, we've already sorted that out. Alright, so let's hit a whole sword, and I guess start with the report on positive presidential approval rating. The new approval rating poll has shown that we have landed above 50% presidential approval rating. Our administration's good performance has been confirmed with the diverse poll taken by 1,000 respondents from all regions of Sortland. Cool, that's actually good news. Alright, and build Rumburg border fortifications. The military has voiced concerns about the cut of military funding and requests additional funds to plug holes in our defenses at the Rumburg border to the north. Mr. Galad advises us to accept the offer led by General Kruger. The Ministry of Defense will immediately begin implementation upon approval. Cool. Alright, so yeah, I don't see anything in the guide about this, but basically we don't want to lose any more budget, so I'm just going to hit don't build, and we'll just deal with the ramifications later. Because, yeah, I don't think we can afford to spare the money on that, especially if we're not even going to war anyway. Or at least, that's not the plan anyway. Alright, well. Let's head to Wholesword for a discussion on the formation of a new police force. Carl Greiser arrived for a meeting to discuss the new police force. After Olivia informed us of his arrival, Lucian opened the door and let him in. Hello, Mr. President. Mr. Galad, what a sunny day, isn't it? The weather outside was beautiful indeed. Clear sky and sunshine made the scenery look lively. I could even hear the sounds of birds chirping from the palace garden. Good to see you, Carl. How have you been? Very good. Thanks to the increased budget at the interior, we've been combating a lot of the issues that plagued us. My position bears more responsibility now. But more importantly, the security situation in the country is much more stable, allowing people to return to normal life.
Please have a seat. We don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
He didn't sit down. Walked a few steps towards the painting where President Alfonso's portrait was hanging. Or towards the wall where President Alfonso's portrait was hanging. Whatever. I've been used to being uncomfortable my whole life. I too came from a poor family, Mr. President. People like us know the additional steps need to be climbed to get anywhere in life. I used to work 15 hours a day to bring back food to my sisters. My entire life was a struggle until I signed up to be a volunteer in the Arver Police Force. They gave me a scholarship to attend the police academy, an opportunity I wouldn't have been able to have if I didn't work diligently. That allowed me to enter the Arver Police Force as a patrolman and to meet Miss Graff, who opened several doors that led me to better places. Hard-working, loyal people are hard to come by. I need people like you. My loyalties lie to you, with you, Miss President, no one else. He took a seat and corrected his posture.
We have been informed of the establishment of the Secret State Police under the Ministry of Interior.
Correct. Minister Graff has given me full authority to lead the new force in order to combat subversives and other threats to the state from the inside. The agents we've recruited are the most loyal and experienced. It's a very powerful force, one that didn't exist in Sorlin before. Yes, we have great powers regarding our operations thanks to the security package and your authority. I want to make it absolutely clear. My belief in you as a leader is unquestionable. Consider me your inside man. Minister Graff, though not as inspiring as you are, has also shown great capability, but the more I work with her, the more I'm convinced that she herself might pose a threat to you. The only thing that matters is you only take orders from me, not anyone else. That won't change, sir. I was just trying to keep some inside information from the interior. Carl leaned closer and lowered his voice ever so slightly. The initial analysis by our agents is to cover some troubling facts. There are elements within our state that have ulterior motives. Elaborate, please. May I speak frankly, sir? That's exactly what I want you to do, dude. There are some very powerful deep state forces inside the administration. Our investigations have just begun, but certain links we have discovered are troubling. Mr. Hawker has financial and other ties to certain figures. He's a dangerous man. Currently, we're collecting evidence of his middleman to discover a real link that will lead to further suspects.
We always suspected they were dangerously close, but the real question here is who in the government cabinet is on their side.
Let's see here. Pretty sure we're supposed to focus on the opposition, right? Yeah. So, not to... Let's go with that. Don't poke the bear if we're not ready to fight it. Maintain low-key operations. Our agency is made up of the most loyal, sir. Hundreds of people are handpicked by Master Graff personally. They have no history with the establishment. Our operations are very hidden at the moment. We're picking off the weaker cogs in the machine that will eventually lead us to the top.
The most important subject here is the old guard establishment. They pose a direct threat to us. Once enough intelligence is gathered, we may be able to arrest them extrajudicially. Harker, Heron, and the rest of the guard and the Supreme Court will be able to be persecuted with a new constitution.
Besides them, there are other elements we are aware of. The oligarchs seem to have some people on their side inside as well. We have received some unconfirmed reports that Mr. Tusk have made deals with the enemies of the state, and it is suspected that they are evading taxes through bribery and exploiting the gray areas in our laws. Our investigators in Estord and Arbel have also found some suspicious financial activity for some of their corporations. If tax returns were to be made public, it would help us track irregularities of the filings. And the economy must be controlled by the states. Lower the brake has too much influence. You're correct, President Rain. They need to be looked at. Marcel Crowley and Harv Soren also have a strong presence in the media and many other industries. There are some patterns we observe that are unusual. It really seems like they have a powerful influence in the majority of the so-called independent news organizations. They might not be so independent after all. Mr. Crotty has been very supportive of my administration. He's a close friend. He might not be innocent, sir, but if you think he isn't an issue, then we can move on. Therefore, we need to pick a faction to focus on. We can't investigate everyone within the remainder of the term and come up with a thorough and compelling case.
The most logical step would be to use the SSP to pressure either the oligarchs or the old guard.
And where should we concentrate our efforts? Let's focus state police investigations on the opposition parties. Yes, sir. We'll focus our research and investigation on the PFJP and the NFP.
Well, this has been decided. That should conclude the meeting.
Thank you for your time, Carl. It is a privilege to work with you, President Rain. Good day. Carl and Lucien left the room. Fantastic. We've got a journal update about that, apparently. It's that we launched an investigation against the reformists. Cool beans. Okay. Where is... There it is. So we're heading to Suzerain for a budget allocation of Sortish armed forces. To determine the current situation of the military and its spending policy, we had a meeting in the White Room. Peter, Vulcan, and Iosef were seated. General Vulcan, Mr. Lucia, let's start with the briefing.
Very well, Mr. President.
We have prepared a briefing to confer further details about the current situation of our military.
First off, we received updated communication from the United Qatari Military Command. Despite my very vocal agreement with the plan, their warships are approaching the Conrad Naval Base as we speak.
Qataran warships in Conrad. I thought I would never see the day.
We are keeping them under close surveillance.
A single wrong move and we will
keep you updated.
Do not cause any trouble. Do you understand? Yes, sir.
Now, let's move on to our military. Which branch would you like to know about?
What's the situation of our army?
According to the latest reports from Communism, currently field 6 armies totaling up to approximately 400,000 active troops. Which is a good amount. The real issue we're having is quality, not quantity.
What's the current equipment status? Our army is quite outdated by today's military standards. Most of our equipment is 2 decades old.
To make up for our lack of modern military equipment, we resort to a large number of soldiers, which is not really a long-term solution.
I have been trying hard to reduce the negative effects of this problem. We don't need a modernization program. A standardized purchase of like equipment would do. We need more funding towards expanding the military size, otherwise our army would seem weak. Okay, well, where exactly is our army deployed right now? The first army stationed at the Lesbian Vale borders to protect the way into the central regions of Swordland. The second army, our largest force, has been situated by the Rumberg border. The second army is a large Mount Commander force and is the most adequately equipped army to face Rumberg. The third army is near the Agnolian border and the coastal areas facing Folkestone. Due to our bitter past, our coastal defense force is always on alert. The decimation of our fleet is still not forgotten. How do we compare to other armies? Rumberg fields about 6 armies, amounting to 1 million soldiers. Lesbia fields 5 armies, which amount to about 800,000 soldiers. Folkestone has 1 army of about 140,000. Wayland fields an army amounting to 100,000, and Agnoli fields 2 armies with a total of 200,000 soldiers.
The sheer size of Rumberg's armies, because of their forced conscription laws, due to their massive gold reserves, they are able to afford it. On the other hand, the Lesbian army is most advanced, followed by the Volksanian army. Both these countries put lots of money in modernizing the military.
Alright, well, let's check out another branch. How about the Navy?
Our Navy currently constitutes 59 ships, with a total of 60,000 sailors and support staff. As you know, these ships are commanded from a main naval base in Conrad, while our flagship, SN Rainian, is docked.
How does our Navy compare to others? Our Navy is dwarfed by the size of the Volksanian Navy, which has 194 ships, and the Agnolian Navy has 81. We only surpass Lesbia in terms of our Navy, as they have less than 30 ships. As you see, the situation is dire, but the solution is not just more ships. To make a truly better Navy, we need to equip our ships with modern radar and sonar systems. More outdated ships wouldn't mean much. Which seas does our Navy currently patrol? We are patrolling the Markian Sea, the Grey Strait, and the Anti-Eastern Sea. Our Navy protects all the coastal regions, however, to make sure we are not thinning out our defense, we can prioritize certain regions over others, like Great Allsword. We often patrol the routes that are close to the shipping lanes, especially the Markian Sea and Grey Strait. The amount of cargo that goes through this area is eye-opening.
Another thing to note is, after the takeover of Hellion, where our Navy has led incursion operations protecting the way, we also take part in some joint Navy patrols as well.
How are our capabilities in power projection? The truth is, we are limited to our near region due to the size and technological level of our neighbor ships.
If we had modern support vessels, we could participate in international operations.
That's right. We still hold some power, though. If need be, we could block the trade at the Markian Sea.
To make up for our weakness, allying ourselves to naval power could also help protect our seas.
Alright, well, let's talk about, I don't know, the Air Force next.
Our current Air Force has 410 planes in inventory, out of which only 140 are jet planes are not in great condition. 30,000 pilots and support staff work in the Air Force, and are commanded from the Mark Air Force Base in Earley.
How does our Air Force work together with other military branches? The Air Force is trained as an independent tactical support branch, which means it assists other branches but doesn't cooperate.
It does cause some issues like friendly fire and close air support opportunities.
There are ways to improve collaboration with joint operation rooms, something to think about surely. Cool, what are our operational capabilities? Our planes can bomb targets within 400-kilometer radius of the airfield. They have medium-range, semi-effective nighttime bombing capabilities. At any time, we can field 7 air wings, composing a total of 130 aircraft that can operate combat duty. This is enough to subdue most targets. In terms of the bombing capability, we have an average of 100 meters of precision. This is not great, but it's still within the effective radius of the bombs. How experienced are our pilots? Our pilots have average experience. They have a total of 450 hours flight time with their craft before they're qualified. This gives them more than enough time to get used to it. This is low compared to the 1,000 to 1,500 hours in other countries like Acacia, United, Cantana, Lesbia, and even Falkland. Normally the hours per pilot should be higher, but due to the lack of funding, we can't increase the trading times. Fuel costs are rather high. Alright, and that sounds good to me, so let's move on.
Rats.
He cleared his throat.
To say that the Ministry of Defense is furious with the reduction in the military budget would be an understatement. This was a betrayal in our eyes. As if the reduction was not enough, he also decided against reinforcing the border.
If run back could attack, we would need to sacrifice many soldiers to hold the line now. Iosef narrowed his eyes.
If I didn't know better, I would say you intentionally trying to weaken Soldier, Mr. President.
You dare accuse me of treachery, Iosef? He didn't respond. We stared each other down. Peter finally interjected. Let's calm down, gentlemen. This is a new age where the military is not the top priority. We're going to transform to a new Swordland.
This is the age of rubber expansionism, and here we are cutting funding for the military.
We will need to cut training time, let soldiers go, and stop purchasing equipment. This is disastrous, and will destroy the armed forces as we know it. The military makes do. I'm sure you talented gentlemen will find ways to circumvent the cuts efficiently.
Do not expect the armed forces to be a capable force after these budget changes.
Iosef's voice was getting louder and louder. Gentlemen, please, let's calm down. Don't discuss the ruckus. Tell that to the hundreds of thousands who lose employment, to the Honorable General Staff of the Armed Forces. We mean no insult to the armed forces. There are simply no resources left. You don't mean it, but it has been done.
We expected much more from Mr. President. You have let us down. Let's hope that our enemies won't realize our weaknesses.
Iosef and Valk were angry, but there was not much that could be done about it. Nor do I care. The meeting concluded as the sun set over the concrete jungle of the Soul Sword. Awesome. Alright. So we got a whole bunch of reports. Yeah, I guess just 2 reports, but that's right, 2 reports in the newspaper. So let's start in Anarcha. Young Swords militants arrested. The Anarcha police forces organized a raid today after reports from the Swordist Intelligence Directorate about suspected Young Swords activity in Anarcha. The police were ambushed during the raid of the suspected building. In a firefight that broke out, 4 militants were killed and 10 more have been arrested in the aftermath. Unfortunately, an officer was also killed during the fighting. And from Whole Sword, education reforms. The Ministry of Education is reporting that the massive overhaul to the education system is progressing very well. All schools in Swordland will be collaborate in the reduction of hours taught in citizenship, soulism, and nationalism subjects. Significant efforts are being made to lessen the political indoctrination in education. Other changes are also happening in the curriculum. Pedagogical improvements like improved teacher-student relations and emphasis on critical thinking development that have begun all across the entire country. Minister Walder reports solid progress on many fronts, with few schools delaying the transformation on political grounds. Fantastic. Alright, so we have 1 newspaper and 2 story beats. So let's check out the paper from Swordland today. Second Katanan satellite in space. Chairman Liam Millenniev addressed the world announcing the second successful satellite launch from Rostanur Air Base, which has now reached low Earth orbit. The chairman praised the scientists in the UCOSM that had allowed the country to reach space a second time. The functionality of the satellite was confirmed and radio contact was established after deployment. Fantastic. Alright, so that just leaves us with Agnolia and Wayland for our trade negotiations, which honestly feels like as good a spot as any to go and call for today. So, as always, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see y'all next time.